Cyber criminals are only getting better. We all know this, right? We get calls and emails every day just into our newsroom alone about cyber scams and crimes and people losing thousands of dollars.
Which is why, of course, we want to start the new year off right with the New Year's cleaning list for cybersecurity. January is a great time to go over your cybersecurity and reduce your risk of becoming a victim here in the end. We've invited Alex Nette, the CEO and co-founder of Hive Systems here in Richmond, to join us today. So let's just dive right into it and tell us what you have in mind with this New Year's cleaning list and what do you mean by it?
Yeah, thanks for having me back. The idea is that for a lot of households and families, at the end of every year, we want to do some specific things that we don't do during the rest of the year. Maybe wipe out windowsills or clean out your dryer vent. The exact same thing applies to your digital life. Take this time to take stock in your digital life, how to protect yourself, and there's a couple key things that you can do related to that.
What about upgrading technology? Is that really important with all of this?
Definitely a good time of year maybe to upgrade technology. Maybe you did get an upgrade at Christmas. What we always like to say is if your device can no longer get updates, if you can't get the latest Windows operating system or download the newest emoji pack on your phone, it's probably time for an upgrade. If you don't upgrade your device, you're at risk. And so ultimately, as a result, you need to make that change.
I think in the new year, we're all thinking about getting maybe our credit a little bit better. So when it comes to credit reports, should we be checking for that? And then, what are you looking for?
I always love to check my credit report, just make sure everything looks good. One of the best ways to protect your credit, though, is actually putting what's called a credit freeze. All of the major bureaus offer this, and you can log online and set this freeze. It is free to do. The only trick is if you want to apply for a new credit card or mortgage or car loan, you will need to thaw your credit to be able to access again, but it prevents criminals from opening accounts using your information.
We always say this, but I hate doing this every single time, is changing the password.
I especially hate changing passwords, and every site is different how they want to do it. Maybe they require you to put in your old password first or something else. It is critical. And ultimately, while we say maybe it's a pain to do it across every single website you use this time of year to sit down and look at your most important sites. What are the things that are important to you? Definitely banking, maybe managing your kid's school account, or potentially even your social media. Take this time to change those important passwords, and maybe the rest of them you tackle during the summer when things are slower.
I feel like I have a password for like 12 different things, just even in this building at this point in time. And sadly, sometimes I have to write them down to keep track of them because some of them are different. I'm assuming that's not what I should be doing.
The funny thing is at this point in time, if you can write them down and keep it to yourself, that's a great way to protect yourself. The best way though, online, there are tools called password managers. For just a couple bucks a month, it can save all your passwords and oftentimes autofill them in on websites to log in for you. That way you never have to think about the password or remember it, and when you want to change it, it can help you do it automatically. That can protect you and your family.
I feel like I have that with my Google Drive. It'll ask me to save my password. So is that kind of what you're talking about?
That's a great way to do it. There are other companies that do this specifically, like LastPass and 1Password, that again, just for a couple bucks a month for your whole family, could protect and save all of your passwords and make it easier to change them.
Now, what about the websites that are moving past those keys?
That's a new thing that's coming out. Ultimately, passwords just aren't working. They're a pain, as we noted. So this is the future, where it's going to be something a little bit easier for you to remember and input. Might be a fingerprint or using your Face ID to save them. That is where things headed, but it's still a newer technology. Right now, we still recommend passwords, but ultimately, that's definitely going to be a big theme here for 2024.
Before we let you go, we obviously want to give some promotions to our later shows here. You guys are going to be doing our Call 12 studios tonight. I mean, when people, when we're talking about people calling in and what to ask, I mean, what are some of the questions people who are watching now might want to call in later on and ask?
If you have questions about your IT devices, how to update them or make them be secure, if you have questions about scams that you or your family may have encountered, or you heard about an interesting one like Andy Cohen losing a bunch of money, those are things that you want to call in, and we're happy to talk to you about them. Ultimately, there is no question in cybersecurity that's off base. It's a hard and complicated world, and especially here in the digital age, every question is a good question. So call in, and we're happy to talk to you about it.
Very, very good insight today. I think I learned a lot just from this. So, Alex Nette, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Make sure we check in with the Call 12 later on today.